Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, NSF Director Panchanathan announces his departure. And a bill to reauthorize the Technology Modernization Fund would extend the program to 2032. It's Friday, April 25th, 2025. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's dive into the day's top headlines. The director of the National Science Foundation announced his departure Thursday after 5 years at the agency. In a brief public statement, Sethuraman Panchanathan said he was stepping down effective Thursday and called it, quote, an honor and privilege to serve as the director of NSF. He also informed employees at NSF in an internal memorandum viewed by FedScoop. In his public statement, Panchanathan said, quote, I believe I have done all I can to advance the critical mission of the agency and feel that it is time for me to pass the baton to new leadership. Panchanathan assumed the role as NSF director during the first administration of President Donald Trump and carried on under Joe Biden. Under his leadership, the department launched its 27 AI institutes, began its Technology Innovation and Partnerships Directorate, which has funded regional hubs for innovation across the U.S., and started the National AI Research Resource Pilot Project. His departure comes soon after the agency began terminating grants that didn't comply with the priorities of the current administration, including items related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and misinformation and disinformation. According to FedScoop reporting, some NSF staff have been instructed that funding opportunities needed approval by DOGE, the Office of Management and Budget, or the Office of the Director. Just before his announcement on Thursday, Panchanathan spoke about NSF's work on artificial intelligence and planning for the technology in the next century at AI Scoop's AI Talks. As part of that speech, he highlighted the AI innovation engines, the NAIR, and also noted, as he has in the past, that much of what we know about AI today is thanks to NSF investment. In other news, a bipartisan pair of House lawmakers are pushing for the reauthorization of the law that launched the Technology Modernization Fund. Representatives Gerry Connolly of Virginia and Nancy Mace of South Carolina on Thursday reintroduced the Modernizing Government Technology Act, which largely mimics legislation introduced during the last Congress, just with an updated sunset date of 2032 instead of 2031. The bill revises and adds some additional requirements to the original Modernizing Government Technology Act, which passed in 2017. Connolly said in a press release that the reauthorization bill is a welcome show of support for the TMF and the critical goal that drove its creation, bringing federal IT into the 21st century. The bill looks to increase the TMF's effectiveness by creating new reporting requirements for the Federal Chief Information Officer and agency CIOs, requiring a list of high-risk legacy IT systems that are used, operated, or maintained by the agency. Additionally, the federal CIO is required to compile a legacy federal IT inventory on the basis of each list provided by an agency CIO. The House passed the TMF bill last year and cleared a key Senate panel last session, but didn't make it through the full chamber. The TMF has received plenty of attention from policymakers, including in response to the General Services Administration's decision to update the program to hold the repayment floor at a minimum of 50%. With rare exceptions only decided by the GSA Administrator and the Office of Management and Budget's Director. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, visit fedscoop.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people to find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Adam Butler and Carlin Fisher help put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back next week with more top headlines. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.